Hello and welcome to RGU Talk, the official podcast of Robert Gordon University. I'm your host, Johnny Milne, and it's that special time of year again. Graduation is upon us. Thousands of RGU students are currently busying about, getting their frocks and families in order, and praying they don't trip on their way across the stage. Not to worry anyone, but I have seen it happen twice, that's fine. With all that in mind though, this is a time of celebration and reflection. And to do just that, I'm joined by one of our graduating students, and not just anyone. It's former student president, Edward Pollock. Edward, thank you for taking the time to chat to me today.
No worries, happy to help out. Thank you very much.
Well, right off the bat, I have to congratulate you. You'll be graduating with a first-class honours degree in events management. How does it feel?
Thank you very much. It feels really exciting. It's been a crazy journey at RGU, and the last year has been intense. Fourth year, I think most students associate with that. So to come out of it with a first, I'm so thrilled.
And have you got any butterflies in your stomach about the big day? What have you got planned? What's the general rundown of the day for you?
I think butterflies, it feels weird to be nervous about literally being across the stage for not that long. But so my day, probably wake up. I've got my family down in Glasgow. They're coming up to visit as well. So we'll get ready. We'll meet my friends outside the theatre. We'll head in for graduation. And then after that, I think we're doing hopefully we've got good weather, and then we'll get all the
Fingers
lovely
crossed.
photos out in the park and all that kind of stuff. And then graduation reception, and then dinner with my family later on as well. And then grad ball on the Friday. So it's a busy week, but
very busy.
Lots of time to celebrate and enjoy what's happening.
Well, focusing back on your time at RGU, I mean, first of all, why did you choose to come here and study events management in particular?
Well, actually, I lived in Dubai at the time, so I'm from Scotland, but I lived abroad. So I'd done a lot of events at school and done charity things. So I knew that it was an area I wanted to go into. I liked the business side, so I applied to loads of different universities across the UK. And even though I was from Aberdeen, I hadn't been involved with RGU before, so I came back one summer and came to visit the campus and knew they did an events course and spoke to the course leader at the time, and it was the way that they approached the course, it was the work experience, it was the live projects, the live festival that we got to run in third year that got me excited before I'd even submitted my application. I was like, and even just seeing the campus, like we're in the radio station now, I came and saw it back in 2011 potentially it was, and you know, it was just the environment that I was like, this is a place I could see myself studying. So, and they had a great event management course, so I eventually applied. I got into all the different places that I wanted, but RGU was my top choice, so eventually came here for that experience.
And did you say you lived in Dubai? Did you come straight from Dubai to RGU? That must have been a bit of a culture shock.
Definitely temperature. I thought I would totally get used to it, having Scottish blood in me. I thought it'll be fine, I'll get used to it. No, I remember in one of my first classes, must have been about November in first year, we were in the health building and it started snowing, and I hadn't seen snow in maybe 6 years.
Oh,
so in the middle of the tutorial, I just shouted out being like, oh my god guys, it's snowing, it's so exciting, and my whole class just turned around and went, we're in Scotland, it's going to do this for 3 months. But everyone appreciated it. I thought, oh no, my lecturer's going to give me into trouble, but no, I was like, yes, I'm back in Scotland, okay, it's exciting. Then 3 months of snow later, I was like, okay, no, never mind.
Sick of it by now.
Yeah, take me back to the sun.
Well, I guess a fair few people listening to this will know that your time at university obviously wasn't quite as straightforward as most people. You started here 6 years ago.
Yeah. So
it took 2 years out to be student president for, I always get these mixed up, communication and democracy.
Correct,
yes.
Nailed it. 10 points.
So what led you to go for that in the first place?
Well, again, straight from the bat, when I arrived, I thought I'd do what most students do and go, okay, I'll spend the first year, just studying. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to do extracurriculars. And then emails come out from the student union saying, oh, do you want to sign up for this, sign up for that? So I got involved in things like student radio. I then got involved as a class rep and started to learn a little bit more about the extracurricular side that was going on at the union. And it just got carried away from there, just carried on doing it. And then when it got to the president elections at third year, I'd been involved with the union for a few years, done loads of things, been involved with the team, and it was just such a great opportunity to be involved, to take a leadership role, to plan events from freshers to grad ball to all the exhibitions and things like that for my career, I was like, this is the perfect place to go in terms of communication and events, but also just personally the skills I would get. So I took the leap, I ran for the election and was lucky to get it. The drawback was not graduating and being with my original
initial
class
yeah.
for my 4th year, but I wouldn't change it for the world because it was just such a leap, but worth it.
Mm-hmm. Well, 2 years as president is obviously something you've got to be proud of. Looking back, what stands out to you as some of the highlights of your time as president?
Oh, how long have we got? We've got days probably. There's so many, and I think there's business sort of achievements. So there's the things that we got to change, the projects I got to work on. So straight off the bat, managed to work to launch a safe taxi scheme at RGU that went on to win a National Union of Students award, and that helped Aberdeen win a purple flag for being a safe city, and it was a way of, you know, helping students make sure they got home safely. That's a project I'm proud of that continues. Big campaign changes were things like moving the exams before Christmas, so we did a whole campaign around that to change the academic calendar. I mean, not many people could say that they've been able to lead that. So being involved was so amazing, even down to little things like getting microwaves. That was probably what I'll be known in the staff circles
Absolutely.
as most controversial, so we won't mention that. And those big changes, I mean, I'm really proud of, and I think that's the whole point. You go into this knowing, wow, we could really do something for students and deliver stuff in such a short time. But the things that I'll remember are, you know, the conferences and the events and the vice presidents we work with and the team that we got to deal with. And for me, all the stuff that other people find boring, but, you know, going to board meetings and listening on university committees and understanding how these processes work have pushed me in a way that I didn't think I'd be able to be pushed at. And, you know, developing things like a student partnership agreement and changing the way the university approaches that, which from a student perspective isn't as engaging, but for me has changed the way I will look at my career and the way I will work in organisations. So so many personal highlights in terms of the person I am 2 years after getting involved.
And obviously one of the other big responsibilities you had would be around this time of year at graduation. Giving speeches. It must be strange now that you're on the other side of it. You'll be seeing, you know, people who came after you giving the same kind of speech you gave yourself.
I know, it is strange, and you asked about butterflies. That's why it feels so strange to have butterflies about graduation, because I've done, I don't know, about 20 of them so far, and getting up there and doing the speech is far more intimidating than getting up and walking for like 10 seconds. But having that experience of delivering those speeches at graduations and being around that environment it's overwhelming, really. It's such an amazing opportunity, but being on the other side will be strange as well, getting to actually know that all of it's all come to fruition in the end. And
you don't have to necessarily worry about it.
Yeah, I don't need to memorise anything.
Well, I mentioned at the start, you know, people falling over in the past. We don't want to, you know, it's not something we're going to encourage laughing at.
Not.
But are there any graduation moments from the past that you look back on with a bit of a wry smile?
I don't think I've spotted anyone falling over. Luckily, there's been a few funny moments. I think the things that make me laugh about graduation were actually the honorary degrees. I've been to a few ceremonies where we've had some really good honorary speakers who've made me laugh and made it really exciting and interesting. And I guess the thing that makes me always smile is like when you look out into the crowd and you see the students all like fluffing about trying to like find their hats or get all ready and get up to the stage and counting the times. So those things kind of make me laugh. But it's interesting, I'm not sat on the other side, so once I see it from that side, I'm sure I'll have a whole different experience of it.
Yeah, hopefully not see anyone falling asleep during the speeches or anything like that.
No, hopefully not.
Now, am I right in thinking, you know, you mentioned some of your other involvement in the union, but student president isn't the only position you've been elected to during your time at RGU. In fact, before we started this interview, I told you I might forget, but you said that you helped set up RGU Radio in the first place.
Yes, yeah.
So what kind of other involvement have you had in the union? What other positions have you held?
Yeah, okay, so started off getting involved with RGU Radio, so I was event manager for that way back in 2012. Went on and it started off with a lot of events things. So in first year I set up the One RGU Many Nations Carnival because there was some funding from the Scottish Government around trying to get more international engagement, so we did a big event there, and that's continued year on year since I set that up. And then went on and was trying to run in elections, and considering I've been so involved with the union, the first 3 elections I didn't actually win. Okay. So it took me a wee while to get my foot in there. And then as soon as that happened, I was never leaving. So I ran for Vice President of Events and Entertainment in my first year. I ran for Vice President of Societies and then ran for Vice President of Events and Entertainment. I think I got that one that time.
Okay.
But yeah, so when I didn't get Vice President of Societies, I was involved in setting up different societies. I set up a Give It a Go week and helps groups get together. Some of those were things like the Harry Potter Society and the Business Society. They came to idea meetings that we had at the union back in School Hill at that time. And then was a class rep and then a faculty officer for the business school and then Vice President of Events and then undergraduate governor and just a few little bits and bobs.
Pretty much dipping your toe into absolutely everything you can.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
And so what has it meant to you to be so involved with, not only with the union, but with the RGU community? How guess what I'm trying to say is, how has it felt to take all this responsibility on yourself?
I've always been a person that really wants to step out there and try new things and get involved. So for me, these opportunities were about making a difference and trying to do something different. And if I saw there was a problem that could get fixed, I wanted to try my best and do it and develop all those skills. So for me, I feel so much more confident in myself. When I first started, I probably couldn't have got up and spoke in front of whatever it is, 3,000-4,000 people at a graduation ceremony. And by doing those activities, by planning events, which is how it all started, it was about, I need to get more event experience and be able to do that. That's why I got involved in the first place, and it just spiraled into all these networks and new people that I've met, and it's definitely changed the way I will do my career in the future. So to get involved, and I'm proud of the changes that we've been able to make, whether that's been fun social things like business balls and events like that, to real deep partnership changes and strategic plans for the union and all those kind of detailed things. It's just been great to get involved and see it all.
And you mentioned earlier that you after you've been so involved with the union, you're never going to leave. But as it happens, you have been working elsewhere at the university for the past year. So am I right in thinking you've been working part-time as a employability project assistant?
Correct, that's it.
So what does that involve, and how are you helping students with their career prospects going forward?
Yeah, so when I went into my 4th year, I was lucky to be successful for this position as an employability project assistant, and my job day to day has been things like, we set up a What's Next conference just a few months ago in April, which was all about getting different employers and guest speakers in to try and encourage students to get that career advice and support. Right now we're working on a What's Next graduation campaign, so if you're around this week at the graduation ceremonies, you'll be able to pop by So Bar and get a new sort of flowchart flyer and all these kind of things that are there to make sure that when you graduate from RGU, including myself, you're not leaving. You do have all of the support, and whether you're changing your career 10 years time or you're still looking for a job in a couple of months, you've got all the support and access there. And our campaign around What's Next has been kind of all about that, and my job is just involved delivering all those kind of things, looking at engagement and promotion and branding and those kind of things, but also what can we do differently to help students.
And you've used the 2 words again and again and again, but what's next for Edward Pollock? Oh,
the big question. I know. That's where that came from. I think it was, even while I was still as president, we were trying to think of what could we do as a campaign? How could we hook students? Because, careers and employability is kind of a long word. What could it be? And I was like, well, every time I go down to see my family, they all just go, what's next? What's next? So I was like, right, we're going to have to put that on a poster somewhere. So for me, I'm lucky that through all these activities at RGU, I've still been building up quite a lot of connections. So I'll at least continue in my employability job for a little bit longer. I'm currently on a summer entrepreneurship accelerator program at Elevator, as if those words all didn't sound the same. And that is to help young entrepreneurs look to set up a business. So my dream career would be to set up my own events and marketing agency. So halfway through that process, and then the kind of ridiculous opportunity that I've got, which I'm very, very excited about, is that I've been offered a part-time lecturer in event management job here at RGU as well.
Amazing.
So lots of little things on the go, but really what I want to do post-graduation is build up that experience, continue to kind of work with the networks that I've done, and figure out kind of what is next. But at least I've got some good opportunities to go into.
I mean, speaking personally to any potential events management students listening in, the dream team of Rachel Ironside and Edward Pollock.
Wow, yes.
I've got that. That's got me excited to go back and study. But finally, we've mentioned your time as president, but looking back across your whole time at RGU, what would you say your best memory is? It's a big question for the last one.
Yeah, this is the hardest one. It's the one because there's so many, and I'm not even sure I could give. I probably have to give multiple answers because when I think back, it's down to sitting in my first inductions and walking onto the campus for the first time and going, like, at first it's wow, am I going to spend 4 years here? And now it's been 6, and I couldn't see myself being anywhere else. And that memory straight from the start is so profound. Sitting in an induction room, wondering, oh my gosh, what's happening? To probably the most powerful ones are the things I got to do as president, to standing up, to campaigning in front of students, to kind of making differences. So yeah, it's hard to pick just one, but the whole RGU experience has just been incredible, and I've loved so much of it, and sticking around forever now. So eventually I might disappear, but no, it's
not too soon.
Not too soon. And it just proves that, you know, when you apply to university, you never think of the real impact that it can have on you. And I always thought, yeah, we'll go to university, that's what everybody does, and it has changed everything about who I am and everything that I wanted to do. And one of my other what's next as well is working in a national agency around reviewing universities. So I'm a student reviewer as well. So that's stuff that I never would have had the opportunity to do, and that part of RGU is definitely going to be with me for life.
Well, on that profound note, Edward, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me today.
No worries at all.
And personally, I can't wait to give you a big cheer from the sidelines on your graduation.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, that's it for this special graduation episode of RGU Talk. On behalf of the university, I'm Johnny Milne, and we'll talk to you later.